And we are live. Welcome, everyone, to another exciting and sometimes angry The Angriest Man in Orlando show. I'm your host, The Angriest Man in Orlando, Anthony. Here to say that, wow, what a day it was today. So, had a whole show planned out tonight. Um, Giving a few more people a few more minutes to check in. So had a whole show planned tonight. Had some good topics. Things were gonna go well, and then life happened. We had some breaking stories happen over the last couple days that just sort of trumped what I was gonna talk about, and we're gonna go into those stories in a little bit. Hopefully, the topics I had planned today can be brought up maybe next week or even on the Two Men in a Room channel on Thursday nights at 8. We do that show with my co host, and we go from there because they were, topics that were going to be fun to talk about, could get angry at, but these sort of just took over everything. And it's probably best to kind of explain as much as I could find out about it. I've spent most of the day researching, double checking, going over stuff, then having to redo it all over again because something else popped up on these topics. It was basically nonstop today. Uh, so I hope everyone enjoys this show. I hope everyone can learn a little bit from it. I'm going to try to go fairly quickly, but I'm going to try to explain everything too because we're not going to take too long tonight. It's going to be a quick show. So if you're watching live, if you're going to watch later, um, we'll go from there. So we have a special guest tonight because there was so much going on and there's so much to do that we're going to bring our special guest on. Just a minute. He's in the green room. He's ready to roll. And as soon as we can get him situated, we'll bring him on and we'll go over everything. Okay. All right. So we're just going to give it a minute, just get a couple more people in. So. If you're hearing dead silence right now, it is dead silence. Again, the show was going to be based on a few different topics tonight, and everything else kind of like popped up out of nowhere. So we're gonna bring our guests on right now. Hello, guest.
Oh, wait a minute. My shirt look a mess.
Oh boy,
My
it's
first time
the
on the Angriest Man in Orlando show, and I'm looking a mess.
well, that's
So
why I'm angry.
what's going on?
Okay, I was just going over with the audience that, we had the show ready with a couple different topics, and then life happens and everything has to be put on a back burner. So I want to kind of get into the first new topic of the night. So a bridge collapsed this morning at about 1:30 a.m. in the morning. A ship named Dolly, which was headed for Sri Lanka under the Singapore flag, flying under that flag, struck one of the pylons for the bridge and took the bridge down. The bridge was the Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore, Maryland. The bridge was constructed in 1977, older than I am, at least, and was a prominent statue in the skyline of the city, from what the governor said earlier. And it goes over the Patapsco River. Hope I'm saying that right. Anyone from Baltimore on here, let me know if that is correct. So the vessel hit the pylon of the bridge, took the whole bridge down. From what we're learning, there were several vehicles that were construction vehicles that were on the bridge to fill in potholes for the night. So I did see some flashing lights. If you watch one of the videos of just the bridge, you can see some flashing lights on the bridge, and what I had thought may have been construction vehicles was proven correctly that they were construction vehicles. There were 8 construction workers on the bridge. 2 have been rescued, and 6 are still being searched for. But unfortunately, they do not believe they will find them alive unless they may have been in their vehicle. There may be an air pocket down there. They might still be alive, but they're actually suspending the search due to poor lighting, a lot of debris in the water, and they're going to come back out at light at 6:30 a.m. tomorrow to resume. I believe they're still going to call it search and rescue, but it will eventually be search and recovery. So a lot of stuff has been coming out over the day, so I want to go through some of that stuff. Sorry for the ums. I'm just going through stuff. The ship was called Dali, Dali. It was flying with a Singapore flag, and it was heading out to go to Sri Lanka. The Francis Scott Key Bridge was the bridge. The ship had actually been inspected several times between 2015 and 2023, and had been flagged twice for in November 27th, 2016, was flagged for hull damage and pairing seaworthiness in Belgium. And then on June 27th of 2023, the ship was flagged for an issue categorized under propulsion and auxiliary machinery and subcategorized as gauges, thermometers, etc. During 2 other inspections, it was deemed worthy. These inspections happened in Chile and just recently in New York City. So it seems they may have fixed whatever the problem was early last year, but it was a propulsion problem. So early news stories were that this was an accident, that the propulsion shut off in the ship, and the ship sort of went afloat and rammed into the bridge. Uh, they're saying nothing showed any terrorist attack or any cyber attack on the ship. That's the main details as of right now. So, any comments, concerns on that? Like, what do you think about that?
I don't think it was a terrorist attack. I just think it was accidental, and that, um, and it's sad that they people lost their loved ones in this accident, and that, I mean, things do happen. I mean, my concern is, okay, the bridge was built in 1977.
Yes.
How often do they inspect this bridge? I know that the thing that hit it, that's very powerful that hit it, but it like it just when it hit it, the whole bridge just crumbled.
I am trying to find any inspection report on the bridge.
How long does a bridge last? In 1977?
If it's been getting reports from the DOT and it's passed, I mean, bridges can last as long as they're structurally sound. Now, they may have to go repaint the bridges sometimes if there's any
Right.
surface rust. They may have to cut out and redo girders or anything like that if it's possible. I'm not seeing, I don't think they've got the report out for any inspections on the bridge yet. I don't see anything as of yet. They may not have released that yet. It was I-695, the highway that goes onto the bridge. So that highway is now shut down for quite some time.
I mean, it's going to be a long time. They got to build a whole new bridge.
Yeah, it's probably a little bit longer than the incident in Philadelphia where the truck caught on fire under the roadway and actually collapsed the roadway. That was, I believe, almost a year to replace that. So this will be quite a long time before they get that back up and running. The concern also is for the port. The port is now officially shut down. No ships are going in, no ships are leaving. So there are quite a few ships that drop off containers there, and there's also cruise lines that were there. I got a report from Carnival that said Carnival will now be moving all their cruise directories and stuff there down to Norfolk, Virginia. So if you have a cruise that was going to be leaving out of Baltimore within the next couple of months, I would probably check in with Carnival. You may be going down to Virginia to get on the boat there instead. If it's closed long term, they may have to move ships into Norfolk, Virginia, or New York City, or the ports in New Jersey, because it's going to take a while to get the steel out of the river. And then they're going to actually have to put barges there to start rebuilding the pylons to hold the bridge. So there, if you're hoping for anything from China or Sri Lanka or Europe, it might take a little longer now. So,
Right.
or you may not get it at all. They may cancel containers that were going in, and they may have to try to find a different port, and that may take months. So, your order for your new Volkswagen may get canceled.
I'm pretty sure they'll come up with a solution. It's sad because, now for those that worked across the bridge or whatever the case may be, how it's going to affect a lot of people,
Mhm.
because, you people, do travel for work, and, now it's like, what do they do now? Like you say, the port going to be closed, and it's so much rearranging that they have to do and reconsider so people can still have a job, people still could, get their items that they need, or travel or whatever. It's crazy.
Right. It's they have kind of rerouted to 95, I believe, was one of the reroutes. There's a few different ways to get around that area. We have a comment. The same thing happened on Skyway in 1980. I'm not sure what the Skyway was, but it was in 1980.
Oh,
I know there was a bridge. Go ahead.
I was a little boy back in 1980, so I have no clue either.
I, re- I remember more recently the bridge that dropped in Minnesota where cars fell into the river. It was middle of the day. It just collapsed into the river. There was basically no way of knowing that was going to happen, and people literally drove off the bridge.
I don't do bridges. See, now you see why I'm scared,
So,
because it's too much going on.
and then that was a big push to inspect our bridges and make sure that they were running right. So,
I would love to know what material they was utilizing back in 1977, because that's crazy.
I imagine steel, same as today.
But
I
it
mean, the
old, right,
rust proofing is probably a lot better now than it was back then. Paint material
right.
is better, but structurally, I think it's just concrete and steel. I mean, you have buildings that were built in, the 1930s in major cities that can withstand hurricanes, earthquakes, and all that. So, I mean, it was an okay time to build stuff then, 1977.
Yeah, I was only 6 years old then.
Oh, okay. We got some better details here. the Sunshine Skyway in Tampa. Apparently, that collapsed in 1980.
Ooh.
Interesting. Interesting. I mean, it's not uncalled for. It was just very weird how it happened at 1:30, and by 6:30, we had all the information out there. The first story was it's just an accident. Don't worry about it, folks. And I've heard from several people recent weeks that you don't always the first story is not always correct. So, I'm just curious. If you watch one of the videos of the bridge camera at night, the ship's going along, you could see the exhaust. That black smoke is kind of puffing out. So it does look like the engine is on. And then almost at the last second, really, you see a flicker of light go out, and the ship, which is going left, suddenly turns right and goes right into the bridge. So did something happen in the control room that freaked them out, that they suddenly hit the wheel and went the other way? Or was this see, here's something that I was listening to all the news conferences. I never heard once. Was the bridge supposed not was the bridge, was the vessel supposed to be going under the bridge? Or was it supposed to be parking near the bridge? Because if it's going under the bridge, it would have been more centered that if something were to lose propulsion, it may have scraped the tower or the bridge, but it wouldn't have directly hit it.
Even scraping
So
the tower is that's something big too. Because look how
right,
big that vessel
but
is.
it may not have taken down the whole bridge. You may have felt it kind of crumble, which may have given an indication to the guys working on the bridge, hey, something's not right. Like when it hit, it just instantly fell, it seemed like.
It's like
So
you
those
just
workers
crushed
didn't
up
have
some
a
cookies. Yeah, that's what I said. I'm like, it's just like you crushed cookies and that was it. And I'm like, gee, I mean, I don't know the capacity of the vessel, and we know that it's a very huge vessel,
right.
but the bridge was built back in 1977. You had people working on the bridge. It's just a lot of details that people would want to know about the situation. I do think it was a accident, but who are we to say? I'm pretty sure they're gonna dig deep into it, but the most part, people lost lives, which is sad. But
Right.
you know, we send our condolences to the family. But and it's just gonna be it's gonna be talked about for a while. And it's gonna take a long time to rebuild and get it back up and running. So, child. But if it was me, honey, I'd be scared to go on another bridge. I don't do. You already know I don't do bridges as is. So
Well,
yeah.
here's what you do. If you're heading up to a bridge, try to look around. If you see a boat near the bridge, pull over, wait for the boat to go through.
Is anybody
Don't
really
go
gonna be
over the
thinking
bridge where
about
the
that?
boat is going through.
Is anybody gonna really be thinking about that? They gonna go on over that bridge. They especially they on vacation, they talking, they laughing, they trying to get where they going. And child, it gonna flip their mind, my mind, your mind, and anybody else's mind. It is what it is.
Well, this is why you got to be paying attention when you drive. The driver should be paying attention.
Okay, the
If you
driver can pay
if
attention
you
all they
see
want. No, wait, wait, wait.
if
The driver can pay attention all they want, but you have others that's out there not paying attention.
and those are the most dangerous people out there. But if you see a ship that's coming fairly close, you might want to just pull over and wait and see what happens.
I'm pretty
Just
sure
see what
moving
happens.
forward, all captains have been alerted and they're aware of what happened. They're gonna be very cautious on when they're driving their vessels and boats and yachts and all that good stuff. So
All right, but if something bad happens, like a propulsion thing, it happens. And something else came out also. We're going to be paying to repair the bridge, understandably. But I think you word it in a way that says, we will be repairing the bridge. We will seek compensation from the shipping company. And you go from there. But our president came out and said, we're just going to pay for the bridge. Don't worry, folks. It's going to get repaired. We're going to pay for it. Which is like, well, wait a minute. Why should we be on the hook for something that they did or didn't do? Maybe they didn't fix something, and this is why the propulsion didn't work or something like that. So why are we, the taxpayers, paying for a bridge that some shipping company from Singapore crashed into?
Hey, we pay for everything else. Might well add that on the book too next.
No.
Either
We
way
need
it go, we're gonna pay for it whether we want to or not. So we might well not even go there. So it is what it is.
You better get their license. You better get their registration for the boat. You better get their insurance card for the company.
Yeah, they got
get
insurance.
all that
Let them pay for
information.
it.
Exactly. Sue the insurance company. Get our money.
That's what insurance is for.
And you know who the best ones are to do that? Morgan and Morgan. That's right. Anywhere in the 48 continuous states, if you are in an accident and you need lawyers, call Morgan and Morgan. They're the lawyers. They're for the people. Give them a call.
Child, I cannot stand Morgan and Morgan. They not always for the people.
I'm glad we're not sponsored, because that would have killed it right there. That would have just killed our sponsorship right there.
I mean, they are right, you know. It is what it is, you know.
But yeah, get them on the case, sue that insurance company, get the money to build the bridge, and let's build the bridge back. It was a terrible thing to hear. Crazy thing to hear. Not as crazy as the next story that we got. We're moving into it really quickly. So, Diddy done did it, is what it looks like. He had 2 of his homes raided last night by the Department of Homeland Security. One home in Star Island in Miami, the other in Holmby Hills, California, basically on the west side of LA. They were raided pretty quickly. I saw some after photos of the mansion in LA. Basically, everything's ripped out everywhere. They ripped out all kinds of computer software. There's his security cameras, everything. They were looking for hard drives and stuff. His kids, King and Justice, I believe his name. Let me double check that. They were at the LA mansion, and they actually got held there while the search was going on. They were later released.
Oh, okay.
They were released. No one in Diddy's family, let me say that. Yes. Oh, Justin Combs and King Combs. No one in Diddy's family has been charged with anything. Diddy was actually in Miami, and he was about to board a plane. Now, this is where it gets a little confusing, and we'll break this down for you. He was with a gentleman named Brendan Paul. Brendan Paul was, we'll say, an assistant for him. And Brendan Paul got stopped. They had a warrant to search him. And he was found with... Well, he was found and charged with 1 count possession of suspected cocaine, another count of possession of suspected marijuana candy, both of which are felonies in Florida. So 25-year-old Brendan Paul was booked on those 2 separate charges and held in Miami. So Brendan Paul is in Miami.
But now he'll get out. It's a simple bond for him.
The plane he was going to get on is in Antigua. We have a photo of the plane there. Here's where it gets a little weird. Diddy has released a statement through his lawyer, saying that it was a travesty of what happened. There was no need for the excessive force by the federal government. He's been innocent of any charge that was even accused by the individual known as Big Rod, I believe his name is, who was originally suing him for an album they did last year. He didn't get paid, and then he accused sex parties, drugs, all kinds of stuff. So Diddy has released a statement through the lawyer, which would make you believe that Diddy is out. And from what I believed, he was in Antigua. Now, I heard a report on the way home saying he was not in Antigua, he was held in Miami. And then the lawyer came back out and said that no, Diddy has not been held, is not being held. He is free to travel wherever he wants to go. So there are no charges, but Homeland Security raids both homes for, I guess, the presumption, if we were to presume that this might be true, is it's a trafficking offenses is what they're looking for.
Yep.
No one really explains what they were looking for. They just went in and started looking for everything. So we were going to do this story last week, and we decided not to because everything was starting to go cold. People were starting to walk away. They were basically not cooperating. And then out of the blue Monday, Homeland Security hits his homes. Does this now push the needle more towards everything we've heard over the last few months may be true?
Yes,
Or do
because
you still think, okay, go ahead.
no. Okay. For one, Homeland Security is not going to just raid your house on a humbug. They have to have some type of evidence. Allegedly, everything that people been saying about P. Diddy is maybe true. Some could be false, but we're just assuming, right? But for
Right.
Homeland Security to do what they did, they got to have something to go on because they're not going to make themselves look bad. You know, they very powerful people. They know what they're doing. So they got to have some type of evidence, and they gonna dig deep into the situation. And whatever P. Diddy got going on with the allegedly these sex parties,
So
the adult trafficking, allegedly, it is what it is, but I just feel like if you know you wrongdoing, you got to pay the consequences sooner or later, and it is what it is. But they got to have something to raid both homes. They're not just gonna assume and not have nothing to go on.
So, some of the accusations that have been thrown out is one from Cat Williams saying that he had to turn down $50 million 4 times from P. Diddy for what was presumed by what he explained. He had to keep his integrity and the virgin hole he had talked about. So there's that. There in the court documents in the case of Rod versus Diddy, he's all been accused of having a sexual relationship with a rapper from Philadelphia who dated Nicki Minaj and an entertainer who did a Super Bowl halftime show. And some people are presuming that was Meek Mill and Usher. There's the 2013 car bombing of Kid Cudi's car, which people accused Diddy of because he thought he was Kid Cudi was going after a girl that Diddy was with at the time. There's the accusation that Diddy had sexually harassed or sexually assaulted a girl who was underage, and that's a civil case in New York. There's accusations he was hanging around with R. Kelly and doing stuff with R. Kelly. There's all these rumors, and people are piling on now. If you see 50 Cent's Instagram, he's basically dancing right now because he's just like, everything I said, it was there. So, do we start looking back at the accusations and taking a second look, or do we say, no, this is kind of like they're blowing this way out of proportion now? Because you could even go back and say, well, did he have anything against people? Does it go back to the notorious Big murder? Was he some way, resentful of him and maybe had some kind of involvement in it? Like, how do you look back, or do you say this is getting blown out of proportion?
No, you
Like,
just
what?
look back because everybody is not going to tell a lie. Not everybody. You got too many people coming up, too many things that's being told. Everybody ain't going to lie. Somebody going to tell the truth somewhere. They just ain't come out of the neck of the woods with R. Kelly either. It took a minute. So
Mhm.
they going to do their due diligence and get what they need. And he going to be in court sooner or later for everything that he's done to people or allegedly sex trafficking and all these sex parties. It is what it is. And it's okay to have a sex party and do what you do, long as everybody of age and long as everybody agree to it. You
Right.
know, but getting people drunk and drugged up, wrong is wrong. You can't make it right. And if he did this, he need to pay the price for it.
Right. Another story that came out is he started Revolt TV back in 2013 and just recently sold it in November of last year to another entrepreneur, and was basically waiting for the end of the sale to happen because it happened just last week. So, is this he was getting his ducks in order, or is this just a coincidence that he happened to sell a company right before he jumps on a plane and his homes get raided? I'm just
Hey,
asking questions here.
you supposed to. I mean, only he would know what he doing. He know what he did in the past. I tell everybody, to me, your past always will reflect on your future. And if you've done anything in the past, it's gonna come up somehow or later. So it is what it is. You got to pay the price for. He has to pay the price for what he's done to people, allegedly. So we gonna see. Give it a month or two. But I really do think Homeland Security do have some type of evidence. They just ain't doing it on a humbug. They just ain't doing it just to be doing something. It's something there. So, and they gonna get to the bottom of it.
I mean, I can't wait to hear the Cat Williams special in July.
Oh yeah,
Like,
he
it's
gonna.
gonna be great. I
Yeah.
I was gonna check Breakfast Club this morning, but I'll have to watch that and see, because everybody's just raining down on him right now, because it if you start putting everything into the pattern, it really looks like he was going on the run. Maybe
Yeah.
he didn't get as far as he thought he was going to get, but looked like he took some money, looked like he ran, looked like he was didn't want anybody to know. Maybe he set some other things up. They were pulling safes open at his mansion in LA. There are safes with the doors wide open. So whatever he had in there, it's theirs now. So this could blow wide open in the next couple months with just
Yeah, we gonna
whatever they
see.
got going on. I mean, there's been other high end people in the Hollywood industry that have been, taken down. So we shall
Yeah,
see what's going on with that.
we shall see. So I
All
have to
right.
go. It was nice, making a guest appearance on the Angriest Man show in Orlando, and
Right.
thank you for letting me join tonight. And we will be back live and in color next what? No, Thursday.
Well, yeah, you'll be on your show, Two Men in a Room, and I'll be there
Yes,
Thursday night, 8 o'clock.
yes.
So it was a pleasure having you on. Thank you for
All
coming
right,
on.
no
Like,
problem.
these were
Anytime.
big stuff. So
All
we're gonna say
right.
bye. Have a good night.
Have a
Enjoy.
good night. All right.
All right. All right. So that was a treat having our my co-host from 2 Men in a Room come on in, give his opinions on some stuff. I will say this: it looks very strange that you have all these connections in the P Diddy case right now. Were getting sold, things were getting moved around, and suddenly he's taking a trip. People getting picked out of the plane before the trip even goes. It looks really strange right now, like they're trying to find missing keys, missing pieces to this puzzle, and they're going to be hitting up anybody who knows him, anyone who knew him, anyone who had anything to do with him. So it could explode in the next couple months, like the Harvey Weinstein case, like the Jeffrey Epstein case. Like these were powerful people that took the power and did what they want with it, and they got caught in the end. So is Diddy amongst them? I don't know. He has a lot of money and a lot of power. Sometimes that gets to you, and you just do stupid stuff. Sometimes illegal stuff. So we'll be watching that case. We'll see where that goes. Once again, on our other case, we'll be watching it. We'll see what happens if they give any full reviews of what the bridge um, inspections were. If there was any other things we could find out about it that maybe it wasn't structurally sound, we'll let you know, because this is the channel to rant about stuff, and we're ranting about that because just unbelievable that what a news day, really. It happened all at once, blew everything up, because nobody's talking about the Russia thing now. There was a massacre at a concert in Russia. They have 11 individuals now apprehended for, I believe the death toll now went up to 133 people, and nobody's talking about it. It just happened Friday, and suddenly it's everything else. The news cycle goes quick, and if you don't talk about it and bring it up, everybody forgets really quickly. So it's nice to have a show where we still talk about that. In that case, it seems a little too quick and too clean in the investigation. Basically, Russia said they were ISIS agents from Tajikistan. They came in, shot the place up, tried to escape to Ukraine, and Russia was able to apprehend them. Beat the snot out of them. If you happen to go see the photos, as long as you're not squeamish about stuff, take a look at the photos. That's called rough justice over there. Okay, that's rough justice. If these individuals prove to be the ones who did it, yeah, it's crazy over there. Like there's no innocent till proven guilty over there. So, but it just seemed like everything was explained pretty quickly, and everything was just kind of brushed under the rug, and it was like, okay, time to move on to the next thing. And it's like, wait a minute. Should we actually even look into this and see what was actually going on? Who knows? We may get something months down the line that this is what really happened, or we may not get anything. But always ask questions. Why did it happen? What was going on? Was it just to bring it back into the news? I don't know. But it seems very suspicious that we have all these incidents happening all at one time to basically confuse the hell out of some people. Something to think about. Like I said, a lot of things are going to be weird. A lot of things are going to be crazy up until November. Just stay on your toes. Always ask why. And sometimes the first story isn't correct. So we'll be investigating these cases, and we'll be bringing you the facts to let you know. And I'm not so angry this week. It wasn't too bad of a week. So it was more chaotic than angry. So still, like, everything's settling in on me. So just trying to get through it this week. So that's our show for tonight. Stay angry out there, everyone. And we'll be back next Tuesday, hopefully with some topics that are going to be fun and exciting and not just absolute craziness in the news. So if you like our show, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the follow button if you're on Rumble, and share with your friends. Tell your friends, tell your coworkers, hey, I watch these crazy guys over here. There's this one crazy guy, Angriest Man in Orlando. Let them know we're working on some stuff for this year with both shows. That it's gonna be fun stuff. Gonna be some giveaways. There can be some merchandise. It's gonna be some fun and exciting stuff. We might even do some on the road stuff. So stay tuned for all of that. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you follow. And everyone, have a wonderful night. Try to relax a little. We've let it all out. We're not as angry as we were. So enjoy. Have a good night, everyone.